welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your girl Pearl, and here we talk about health, fitness, wellness, and all of the above. Thanks for coming back and joining me. This is my fourth and last video of my series on how to thrive during quarantine. And this video today, I'm going to be talking about how to thrive during quarantine. Maybe you're struggling with ways to keep active and stay sane at home, or maybe you just want a little pep talk or some motivation, maybe some ideas that you can incorporate into your lifestyle. If you can relate to any of those, then this video is for you. The first thing I want to talk about is about having a routine. The importance of routine is so crucial in everyone's life. I'm sure a lot of us have lost a sense of our routine during this time while being at home. Maybe you've lost your job, maybe you're unable to go to the gym that you like to go to, or maybe you're unable to do the things that you used to do in your day-to-day. Still maintaining a sense of routine is so important, especially during this time. It gives us a reason to get up in the morning. It gives us some sort of structure throughout our day so we're not aimlessly walking around bored, not knowing what to do. Now, being bored isn't a bad thing, but if you're someone that doesn't like being bored, then having a routine is definitely going to help you out. Now, when I'm talking about routine, I don't mean the really strict routine where it's like hour by hour and you have everything planned out to the T for your day. Maybe that's something that works for you, but know that routines don't have to be so structured. They can be looser just to give you a rough idea of what you're doing throughout the day. For example, it could be something as simple as this. Tomorrow, I'm gonna get up, read my book, eat my breakfast, and then do something else for the day. It could be just a routine for your morning to start your morning off consistently on the right track, or it could be a routine to make sure you do something that next day that you really want to do. Or it could be just something that you want to make sure you do every day, like I want to go for a walk every day, and that can be part of your routine. Don't think it has to be some really structured thing where you have to follow it to the T. To give you an example of my morning routine, I get up in the morning usually at 6 a.m. I'll stretch, I'll meditate, I'll read my positive affirmations, I'll journal, and I'll read a book. And after that, I'll do some work, and then I'll work out usually. I don't have any strict timelines when it comes to my routine, but I do have a good idea of what I want to get done in the morning. This is something that you too can incorporate just to give your morning a little bit more structure and have something to look forward to. This is something that's really helped me through quarantine and keeping me upbeat and motivated throughout the day. Another thing I want to mention is to make sure you incorporate things you really enjoy doing in your everyday routine. That could look different for you, but think about what really brings you joy, what makes you happy, and make sure you do those things every day. In my life, I don't think there's a day that I go without dancing, and that's because I love dancing so much. It makes me so happy, and I just really enjoyed letting myself go and free. Even if that's just 5 minutes a day that I dance, in my world, that was a good day. So think about what brings you joy and what you can do every day that's gonna really boost your mood and maybe make your time a little better while you're at home. The second thing I want to talk about today is to invest time into your self-care. Now, self-care is something that I am so passionate about, and I really think people need to do more self-care, spend more time with themselves, really take care of themselves, not only their physical body, but their mental as well. When you think of self-care, a lot of people might think about bubble baths or painting your nails or eating some chocolate or whatever else might come to your mind. And yes, these are also forms of self-care. I believe self-care is doing whatever you need to do to take care of yourself, and that can be a wide range of things. Yes, this can include things like bubble baths and all the sexy things and the TLC. One thing that I really also want to mention is that self-care might also mean doing things that are a little bit harder to do, like sitting down with ourselves and talking to ourselves and really asking ourselves how we're doing. But genuinely, how are we doing today? Did I have a good day? What made my day not so good? And how can I change that moving forward? Self-care is also getting rid of the things that we know aren't serving us. Yes, we can always be doing things that can improve us and better us. But what about the things that are holding us back, the things that are hindering us? One analogy I like to use is that when you have a garden, in order for your flowers to grow, you need to take out the weeds. So take a look at your life and see what might need to be taken out. This is not easy at all. The first step is being aware of the things that are holding us back, maybe writing about them, journaling about them, thinking, or talking to a friend about them. And once you identify the things that are holding you back and hindering your progress or hindering you from doing what you really want to do, then you have to decide, is this something I can control? Is this something I can't control? And if it's something that you can control, then if you're willing to make that change, then that's something you might want to start working towards. If it's something you can't control, then that is something we best not worry about, because when we worry about things that we can't control, that just adds added stress and worry, and then ultimately we can't do anything about it, so why have that extra stress in our lives? And this part of self-care is not an easy process. It's always an ongoing process. It could take days, years, months for us to talk about these things, to make these changes if we need to, and to really realize the things that are holding us back from living our lives and thriving. I really encourage you all to take the time and think about some of the things that I just talked about. If you really do want to thrive, this is something that is very important for us to take care of ourselves and our lives. It's important for us to take care of ourselves and take care of our bodies, our minds, our soul, our spirit, and all the things that make us human. Self-care is something I really love to practice as well. I spend 2 hours a day doing some self-care, and it really has helped me with my progression and growth overall. So this is something I would definitely incorporate into your day if you're not already doing it. The third thing I want to talk about today is watching what you consume. And no, I'm not talking about food, even though I do love eating and food is amazing. I'm talking about what we consume through our other senses, what we're hearing, what we're seeing, and what we are feeling. What we eat is important, but also just as important is what we let into our brains and our minds. Taking notes of how much media you're consuming throughout the day, whether it's on social media or the news or a different outlet, and gauging how that news is affecting you. The purpose of the news is usually to bring some fear into society or some panic, determining on what they're talking about. The news is usually never good, and I personally do not watch the news. I stay updated through other means and other news sources that are a little bit more positive. I think it is so important to control what we're consuming, especially on social media, and decreasing our exposure to the negativity in the world. Because when we are exposed to more negativity, that increases our stress levels. And when we have increased stress levels, it causes more cortisol increase, and this can affect our overall health. So really taking the time to just watch and look at what you're consuming, check your mental health. If you're doing okay, then that's great. You can continue on. If you think maybe you could decrease the amount of negative news you're consuming, that could be something that helps you as well. It's very individualized, so there's no right or wrong. But overall, I do believe consuming less negative content is beneficial for our minds especially. Another way you can control what you're consuming, taking note of who you're following on social media, what content you're reading there. If you notice that there's a lot of negativity and things that you don't like seeing, things that don't make you feel good after you scroll, after you consume them, that's another sign that possibly that content is not ideal for you to be consuming right now. I strongly believe, especially during this time, that we should be trying to consume as much positive, motivating, inspiring content as we can, which is one of the reasons why I made this YouTube channel, and then one of the reasons why I only follow really great people on Instagram. And I know it's not easy for all of us to do, to not scroll. Even me, I scroll a lot. So even if you do scroll a lot, having the accounts that you are seeing not be as toxic or negative for your mental health or emotions. And that's a really good way to improve your overall mood. It's definitely another way that we can thrive during quarantine. The fourth thing I'm going to be talking about today is our environment. How can we make our environment in such a way that it enables us to thrive during these times? I would encourage you all to assess what your home environment is like at this time. See how it makes you feel, see how you feel when you enter different rooms. Switching things around is a great way to change the energy of a room, to make it seem new. Our environment, who and what we surround ourselves with, is so important to our overall growth and health as a human. Back to the garden analogy. If you plant a seed in a garden that is not fertile, you don't water it, there's no sun, you don't promote the health of the flower is gonna die. There was nothing wrong with the flower itself, but the environment was not optimized to allow the flower to grow and thrive. So consider yourself a flower. What are the things in your environment that are really helping you grow? What are some things that you can add to your life that are gonna help you maintain sanity during these times? Another key thing to note is the people you surround yourself with. Your environment is not only composed of things, it's also composed of people. The people we surround ourselves with are actually the most important part and really influence who and what we become. I'm sure you have heard of the quote that you become the average of the 5 people you surround yourself with. So what 5 people are you talking to right now, and how are they affecting you? It could be that they're not affecting you negatively at all and they're keeping you sane, and you have the 5 core friends that you reach out to and you talk to, and it's making this time amazing. Or maybe some of you don't have the 5 core people in your life that are really inspiring you and helping you thrive. So that is something to consider. Maybe I can have a conversation with these people and talk about things that aren't related to the pandemic. Maybe we can have conversations around what your goals are, what we're working towards, what we're grateful for. Having these powerful conversations, not only with yourself, but with friends and family, can really help your overall mindset and your mental state. These people do not have to be people that are in your direct circle. We can also gain influence from reading books, from podcasts, from listening to motivational speeches on YouTube, on various platforms. This is a great way that you can improve your environment and the inputs you're putting into yourself. I myself am a huge fan of personal development. Honestly, I would not be here today on this YouTube channel if I did not listen to as much personal development as I did. It honestly saved my life in a way, and I am forever grateful for it. And I make sure that I listen to something positive every single day. Doesn't matter how long it is, doesn't matter what it is. I listen to a podcast or I listen to a YouTube video of someone speaking positivity into my life and to help inspire me, because we are all humans and we all need inspiration. We all need people to join in with us, and we all need that type of support. Of course, humans are meant to thrive together as a collective. It's very hard to thrive by ourselves, which is why during this time, while we're social distancing, it is so important, especially right now, to form connections, to reach out to people, to listen to those positive inputs, to talk to your friends and family about these important things, to really form connections. It's not an easy time right now, but there are ways that we can thrive and we can do the things we need to do to really grow during this time. I don't know about you, but I don't want to be stagnant. I don't want to let this pandemic affect my life, affect my mindset, affect my health. I want to continue to maintain the things I need to do to thrive every single day of my life. One quote I heard from a motivational speaker that I was listening to earlier this morning is that ask for help not because you're weak, but because you want to stay strong. And that resonated with me so well. A lot of us may not ask for help, but it's really the help we need to help us stay strong and to help us get through a time like this. Asking for help doesn't mean you're weak, it just means that you need some extra support, which is totally natural. So if you need help and are struggling with anything during this time, I really encourage you to reach out and talk to people. A lot of us are in the same boat right now, so I'm sure you can find someone that resonates with you. That was longer than I intended to talk about your environment, but as you can tell, it's something that I'm really passionate about, and the inputs, the people, who we talk to, how we speak to ourselves as well is so key to maintaining our health and thriving through this time. That concludes my 4-part series about how to thrive during quarantine. Let me know what you thought. Let me know how the topics were. Post it below in the comments. I would love to hear. I really enjoy talking about these topics, not only about nutrition, but also about health and wellness and how we can really promote our overall well-being. And I really hope some of you also enjoyed that. I really think that we can all use this time as an opportunity to really improve ourselves in one way or another, connect with people, form strong relationships, and just become a better human overall. Thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate the support. I have created a resource for you guys, and it's about thriving during quarantine, and it's very similar to what I've talked about in these past few videos, but all summarized for you in a nice document. So I'll put that in the comments below. I hope you're all doing great and will incorporate some of these tips that I've talked about over the last few weeks. Next week, I'm going to be talking about some of my core principles about health and wellness and things that I absolutely believe in when I work with people, and also for myself as well. So if you're interested in that, please hit the notification button, and I'll see you guys next week.